Okay, everybody. Oh, look, that's a little bit high for me, isn't it? Let's pop that down. Joining me right now, we have the now legendary you seem to be. Oisin O'Malley, the Timeless Watch Channel.
Great to
How
see
you
you,
doing?
man.
Good
I'm
to see
doing
you.
great.
You got into town when last night?
Last night, yes.
Okay.
And I got some rest.
You did?
Much needed rest.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
Despite the invite from Paul to go out on the town, I was like, let's not do it immediately. I'll
Yeah.
do it tonight. I'll do it maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Now, I know you just stepped in because it's taken you about 45 minutes actually to get through the people who want to stop and say hello to you.
Well, yeah, I started outside. I met a couple of the lads, and then I just got stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm finally in here. Isn't it amazing in here?
Yeah.
Oh, the setup is
Can I
amazing.
ask you how you find it now that people just recognising you wherever you you turn up to these events and everyone wants to stop and have a chat with you, and what's that like for people to know you?
I don't know. I mean, I have the background with the band.
Sure.
This sounds a little conceited, but it is just
Your experience.
the straightforward explanation. So yeah, you do a gig with the band, and then you have the fans who come up and they want to take a photo and all of that. It's normal stuff.
Yeah.
So I was saying to some people there the other day, I traded my fan base of young, attractive women to middle-aged men.
Yeah, thanks very much.
They're my fan base.
Yeah, that's all right.
But it's okay.
A fan base is a fan base.
It's entertaining
Yeah.
in many ways, and they're big watch fans. It's fun. It's nice. It's great to see faces behind names, because a lot of people come up and they're like, I'm the guy who made that comment, and we had a little conversation, and they make that connection.
Sure.
And you're like, oh yeah, it's you. Oh, great to meet you, and all of that.
So, I mean, obviously I'm a content producer for Spencer, as you know,
Yeah.
and I am an absolutely huge fan of you and your channel. And I watch a lot of the channels, but particularly
Nice.
I'm drawn to yours,
Okay.
probably because of the storytelling and the narrative.
Okay.
Is that something you always sort of set out to do in terms of planning your channel? How
No,
did
there
that
was
come
no
around?
planning involved. It just organically just kind of went that way. And I have the gift of the gab, the Irish thing. This is what we, as a culture, I guess we just needed something to do in the pubs for all those years. Like, what are we going to do now? We're all sitting there. Someone tell a story. So we all have that kind of, or most of us have that, just a natural chatting
But the thought
thing.
process that goes. So
Yeah.
let me take your last video you did.
Yes.
You did the 2 unboxings.
Yes.
The unboxings of the watch that you bought from Spencer, which is obviously beautiful. I was mesmerised by your title sequence. And I know you have a background in music and you're very creative. But when you sit and think about that title sequence and putting the video together, is that something that just comes to you naturally, or do you sit there and plan your shots? Do you do your own editing?
I
How's
do
it
all
done?
my own editing. I do all that stuff. That one that you're referring to isn't even all of that, if you don't mind me saying. So
Okay.
there are other sequences that are way larger in different episodes of the channel. I just get on this idea. I get this idea in my head and I start doing it. And then I hit the bottle, usually for inspiration.
Yeah.
And I wake up the next day going, what did I do again? And then I press play and I'm like, wow, that's great.
That's all right,
Who
isn't
the
it?
hell did that?
Yeah, but
You know?
even like, I mean, what drew me in as well from the title sequence with the little film clips you've managed to garner with the wow and
Oh, sure,
it's
sure.
the one. I mean, because they're in your head and you're thinking that would be good for that. I mean, you've still got to find them and source them and.
I get a lot of inspiration in the shower.
Do you?
I'm in the shower in the morning going, oh yeah, there's a bit in that movie where he goes, yeah, was it Pulp Fiction? Is that what I think it is? It's beautiful. It's a kind of golden shine. You never see what it is.
Sure.
Apparently it was Marcellus Wallace's soul. They say that
Right.
that's what was in the suitcase. But it works well with a gold Daytona, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah,
You know?
beautiful,
So you just
beautiful.
get these ideas.
What are you sporting today?
I'm actually just wearing the first nice watch I ever bought.
Take it off for a second. We'll put it
Yeah,
up to the
this
camera.
is
The
the,
first nice watch you ever bought.
Yeah, I mean, I've had watches over the years, but I never
Yeah.
had enough money to buy a nice watch, and this is my
An
Omega
Omega
Seamaster.
Seamaster.
Yeah,
Let's pop that up
my
to the
James
camera.
Bond one. So there's a video where I go to Trieste and I talk all about that watch and buying it on eBay and not knowing a thing about
Sure.
watches and
beautiful.
learning about watches from that. Yeah, it's a good one.
I know you didn't. We didn't know you when it was the first watch show we did just in the summer. But here we are at MV Augusta. What do you think of the setup here?
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, I feel like if I get enough drink on me, I'll buy a watch and a bike.
And a bike, yeah, it could be a very expensive. Well, Paul,
And make a dramatic exit then from the
absolutely.
place.
Has Paul told you he's already bought a watch?
Yeah, he went for the AP, didn't he?
Paul's bought
Man's
an AP.
unstoppable.
He's like, and he's seen another one. He's seen a white AP, and now it's a bug, isn't it?
He's putting the bug in me, has me trying them on.
Has he?
Yeah, he's giving me that look like, come on, come over to the dark side.
I definitely feel like the watch dealer in him. He loves it when he comes out. It totally comes out, but without any of the responsibility.
Yeah, right.
He's
reckless now.
Reckless. Yeah. He goes in, he gets all the watches out, tries it on everybody, and sees which one's right. And is there anything you've seen today? I mean, I know you haven't got anywhere near the counters.
I'm trying to keep my eyes off it. The last time I came to London was the London Watch Show.
Right.
That's when we met.
Yeah.
And I swore, I'm like, I'm not going home with a watch. I'm not buying a watch. And there was an echo when I said that. There was an echo in the air. Watch. Because I went home with 3.
That's right.
I went home with the Daytona, the Jubilee Datejust 41, fluted, and the Palm France. My God, what the hell was I thinking? But
well, you were thinking content.
I'm thinking content,
but just to
but
let
also
you know,
something nice
we
to
can
wear.
lend you watches for that.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, you were going to lend.
I
your
don't
stuff.
need to actually purchase them. I forgot about that. We'll see what happens. Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll keep looking at the motorbikes.
Absolutely, because you can't take that home with you. Yeah, they are.
I could try it.
You could try it. And just coming back to your channel for just one sec, because obviously I'm always curious. So having to think of stuff for Spencer's channel. How far in advance do you think I know what my next video is going to be about? My next film?
About 5 minutes. I have
Literally,
no clue. I don't. I have ideas. Thinking, maybe I'll do that soon. Maybe I'll do that soon. That'll be an interesting thing to do. But then I sit down and I go, let's try something new or whatever. If the channel has any flaws, it's that it's a little haphazard in its format. One time I'll do a rock music thing with and then it's mostly classical music, and then sometimes I do a travel thing, and then sometimes it's just unboxing, hands on a table, unboxing.
But obviously that's
so it's
what
a little
your
bit
view
of
is like.
this
It's
and that.
eclectic and very different.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things, but I have no idea usually until...
So with you, it's pretty much unplanned and
off the cuff,
And has it surprised you how quickly your channel has exploded? Because you've only really been going sort of circa a year, 18 months.
Yeah, a little, somewhere between that and 2 years. Yeah, it has. It really has. I had no idea anybody would be interested in watching this stuff at all, to be honest.
Yeah, and so does that give you... Do you now sit there and think, right, well, now I have to keep the bandwagon rolling in terms of doing stuff, or do you just...
I feel that pressure that people, that other YouTubers say they have.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got to make a deadline. I don't have any format in the sense, like, some people put out a video every Sunday afternoon or every Friday evening. Or I don't... I could do 3 videos in a week. That's rare, though.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a month will go by and I don't. So I'm very badly organized. Is basically the moral of the story here. But I don't know. I mean, it's worked well.
You just keep it rolling.
Gravitate toward it.
But you do shoot your stuff with a thought on cinematography as well, don't you?
I have to. I can't see myself doing it any other way.
Yeah.
It's...
Because as a filmmaker, I pick up on that. So I look at that and I think to myself, I know the effort that goes into getting the sun behind the watch and just capturing the shimmer.
It can be the difference of a millimeter turn of the watch itself or of the camera. Yeah. It really can. I do a lot of shooting, and the bigger videos, what you're seeing, like the ones that are 30 minutes, 40 minutes long, the documentary style ones, what you're seeing is about 8 or 10% or even less of what I shot. Yeah, sure. I just shoot a lot of stuff and then I go through everything and see what the money moments are, the beautiful moments. Yeah.
And what camera are you shooting on?
Well, I have several different ones. I'm using a couple of Canons as a 4K. I've got to do a big video. Everybody wants to know. There is some really high. I'm using a red for some of the videos.
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
that intro that you liked the other day with the heavy metal music. Yep. That most of that was shot on a Red Dragon.
Red Dragon, yeah.
And then some Canons, 200D. That's my go-to. Yep. It's a 200D. It's not even 4K. Anybody who's interested in this stuff, I just throw it on the ground and throw the watch. I don't throw the watch. I place the watch. I usually put tape on it. A lot of people write to me, "What are you doing putting the watch on the ground?" But and I stick it down there. I was in Vienna visiting my brother a few months back, and I was shooting there too. And I saw a nice spot, and I was like, and I put the camera down, and I turned the thing so I can see the shot down there. Because I don't want to bend over too much, And
then of a certain age?
I'm like, I don't know if I'll get back up, And No, I actually do. I spend most of my time with my hands on my knees. People passing me going, what's that
Yeah.
guy doing? They have no idea. And I stick the watch down, and then I get chatting with my bro, like he's right, like where you're standing. And he's like, is this how you do it? I thought you lie down like a sniper. I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
I just put it down there and
Zoom.
let it happen.
Absolutely.
Later, I see people walking through, like in that shot, for example, a horse and carriage went through the shot behind the watch.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I just
gorgeous.
noticed it going by. I was like, oh, I hope that was in the shot. Great.
And the macro lens you use,
Oh yes, well,
because that for me,
Yeah.
it's the macro shots of the phone, which also I pick up on.
they add a little
Gorgeous.
bit of
Yeah.
romance,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
I actually don't have a macro lens.
Wow.
I use a thing called extenders.
Extenders.
Yeah,
Okay.
extender tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a fantastic job.
There's like you get it in sets of 3.
Yeah.
One brings it a little closer, and then the next one, and then there's a big one that goes all the way
Yeah.
in. You need a lot of light on the watch.
Yeah.
And it's just a cheap way of
Bringing the detail to life.
getting the detail. But you will notice around the edges it's a little blurry.
Yep.
So it won't be the same as Adrian Barkajak, for example, or
Yep.
Jenny L. You can see that they bought an actual
Yep.
macro lens, and the whole image is macro. Mine aren't that, so a sharp eye would pick up on that.
Sure.
But I work into it. You've got to
Yep.
work into whatever you have.
Yep.
Use whatever you have to its best
Yep.
capacity, its best ability, I should say. And what I do is I move the watch and let it reflect and so on. I make it look like that was my intention.
Yep.
You know? It's like an old trick you do
But
in
more
music.
luck than
you know?
judgment.
Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah. So,
I want to ask you one last question. Another one of your shows I watched a couple of weeks ago, and it was all based around a film.
right.
And you just released a very long explanation and a look into
The Interstellar one.
Interstellar, and I love Interstellar as a film. Like,
Yeah.
I love it, and I loved watching that. Very different to, your watch talk.
Yes.
Well, why?
Well, I
Why
wanted
the
to be
breakdown of films?
watches and movies.
Right.
So you've seen other channels do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, there's the watch in the movie.
Yeah.
But
Or James Bond wearing the
Oh,
watch.
there he is with the watch, but it's not really part of sometimes the watch is part of the story.
Yeah.
It's part of the narrative.
Yeah.
So I've only actually done 3 films so far. There's the Die Hard.
Yeah.
And the watch you barely even see up close, but the watch represents the corporate lifestyle, and he's the working class guy, and he's come to kind of save his wife from that. So, breaking the watch off her wrist means Hans Gruber falls to his death. I'm not sure if people are quite aware that that's what kills Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
That famous moment he
Yeah.
falls down. He's hanging on to her watch, the watch that the company, the Nakatomi Corporation, gave her.
Yeah.
So it represents, and of course there's that famous line. What's that actor? He's like, "Oh, it's a Rolex," So the watch is part of the narrative.
Yeah.
The same with The Edge with Anthony Hopkins
Yep.
and Alec Baldwin, and then Interstellar. The watch is a really important part of
integral.
Yeah, it's integral. Without
Yeah.
the watch,
Yeah.
the story kind of collapses.
Absolutely right.
In
Yeah.
a way.
It's
So that's
Victor
what I
Cooper.
wanted to do. The first 2 were detailed, but nothing like Interstellar.
Yeah.
The Interstellar one is way long. It's like in 2 parts. It's a totally different thing. But also it brushes off the point about time
Yep.
and its relation to gravity.
Yep.
Because I figure if we're all mad about watches, we should really be mad about the science
My
of
face when I
timekeeping,
watched
right?
that video was like this. I would just stand there watching it, and the voiceover.
Yeah.
Talented man. Talented
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you so
man.
much for joining us today.
Cheers.
Enjoy. Try not to buy anything. Resist.
I know,
and just
I
go grab
know.
the beers and the
I
drink.
should just run now. I should just get out of here and save myself.
Guys, we'll be back just a little bit later on.